morning, beautiful March day. Feels like spring. Don't know if it's technically spring yet, but birds are chirping, crows are cracking. It's nice and peaceful out here. Today I wanted to talk about plug in my headphone. I wanted to talk a little bit about how I got into Veda, and maybe just a little bit of background. So essentially, I came from a family that wasn't extremely aspirational in terms of goals, in terms of business, in terms of understanding investing. Pretty blue collar, you know, suburban, middle class, like strong middle class family. I lost my parents when I was a little kid, so I got kind of bounced around different family members, and turned 18 and got really deep into drugs and alcohol and partying and all that, as kids those age do traditionally, which is supported by the colleges. You know, I didn't go to college, but I did. I went to college for like 6 months, Academy of Art in San Francisco. So yeah, I guess I didn't spend like my entire 18 to 21 partying. It was a good year in there that I was in school. I came back to Sacramento and continued partying, and then 21st birthday, I drank so much alcohol, almost left my body, ended up in a bathtub and covered in vomit, and I woke up and things with the current girlfriend weren't going that well, and she was on the way out, and I just made a decision, you know, like I'm not gonna drink anymore, I'm not gonna party, I'm not gonna fool around with girls until I understand like what life is about, like what I'm doing here, like everything. Like I wanted all my questions answered, and I was willing to do whatever it took to get all my questions answered. And you know, I was thinking about going to Tibet or India or something like that, you know, but didn't have to travel that far. In Sacramento, there was a meditation center and some kids doing outreach at the junior college I was going to, and they were chanting and singing outside on the grass, and it didn't really do much for me. It's kind of like a kumbaya thing, but the books they had lined out on the grass were really intriguing, and one of them had a picture of Krishna on it, and I asked who that was, and they said, oh, that's God. God is a person with a form. And I was like, that's wild, you know. It seemed too specific. It's like if you're gonna create God, right, it's gonna be, he's the biggest, so he has the biggest muscles, and he's got a gray beard, and he can fly, and I mean, the specificity of Krishna being blue and playing a flute, it just struck me as authentic, right? And so I went to the class at the school that he was teaching, like the meditation class, and all the philosophy really checked out. It was really very clear. And then I went to the meditation center and I met my teacher. He was left his body a few years ago, but he was a Vedic and a biblical scholar, you know, and so I was just really excited, you know, to learn from him, and I'd drill him with every question under the sun, you know, and he explained essence, position, and function, and he explained the modes of material nature, and the Lord in the heart, and how you're not the body or the mind. And it's like, whoa, like all this made so much sense to me, you know, so clear, so profound. And it came to pass that the philosophy was perfect. Answered all questions, there's nothing left, consistent, free from absurdities, which he said are the rules for a perfect philosophy. And even better, this philosophy created a lens into Christianity, into Gnostic Christianity, and where I began to realize, like, wow, like much of the Bible is distorted for those who are looking for salvation or material comfort, two things that Jesus was, you know, diametrically opposed to. you know, ironically. And so he showed me the true Jesus and the true lover of God, and, you know, you love God first commandment, and then you love others. And it was a beautiful time. It was a lot of chanting. And once I actually understood philosophically what the chanting was about, that God transcends and manifests in sound vibration, incarnates into sound. It's like, whoa, like this is actually like an experience of the Supreme Person. And then it was way less kumbaya and way more like, wow, this is actually like diving back into the pond or the ocean after being in the desert. So that, and we had so much delicious food. The prasadam is essentially, prasadam means mercy, right? So if you offer food to the Lord, then it becomes purified, and you experience the spiritual world in that food, which is crazy. So yeah, a lot of good times, you know, Hawaii and Sacramento, and eventually, you know, I kind of went and did my own thing and started developing my art and going to different places. I felt pretty strong on my own without a community, and that's kind of it, you know. So far so good. And now I'm really focused on discipline. I'm really focused on accountability, on execution, on, you know, making sure that the day is spent methodically. You know, I've got a 15-minute timer on my phone, and my watch has like an hour buzzer, and you know, every time that timer goes off, like I'm looking at my schedule on Google Calendar, and okay, like, am I on schedule? Am I, you know, snapping to my goals? It's very difficult, but I'm focused on getting better at it, you know, because essentially the schedule is God's plan, right? If you're sincere and you're talking to God and you're saying, okay, well, what can I do with all my time? Like, He's going to tell you what to do. He's going to give you an assignment every half hour, like the very best thing you could do, you know. There's maybe better things, maybe things that are not as good, but there are definitely things that are like useless, like watching TV for the most part and playing video games, or just letting your mind carry you around, or where you're just flipping through Instagram looking at bullshit for forever, you know. So the schedule is designed to kind of rein that in and keep you accountable to the service to other people, to service to God and service to other people. So that's all the high functioning CEOs, man. I mean, their schedule's down to 5 minutes. Like, if you're 5 minutes late, you're late to the date, you know, you don't get a meeting, you got to reschedule. So the high efficiency performers that are creating the most value, they are acutely aware of all of their time and efficiently using all of it. So that's really where my head's at, you know, to build some sort of structure so people can receive meditation and art instruction and become free from the mental slavery, as Bob Nesta Marley has said so eloquently. And that's really the vibe, you know, is trying to find some OPM, other people's money, like create investments, create a target that's wildly outside of like what I think is possible, you know. And instead of trying to make 5,000 a month or 10,000, try to make 100,000 or a million, because the thinking changes. It's like, okay, 10,000 a month, yeah, I pretty much know how to get that. But a million a month, it's like I wouldn't even know where to start. And that's kind of the point, is because once you migrate to that thinking, then you start asking the questions and you start building the relationships that actually yield 1 million a month. So you start with like the goal and the confidence that it's possible, and it is. There's what, hundreds and thousands of millionaires on the planet. I don't know, hundreds, probably at least. Lots of money, man, and people are sad and people don't know what to do with it. So that's the vibe, you know. One is discipline, which entails, you know, my meditation each day and like making sure I'm doing yoga and exercising, which is crucial. Yeah, discipline, execution, accountability. And the other is, you know, framing these business plans, these massive plans of how to really give people value, right? I mean, business and money equals value. It's like if you're making $1 million and you're selling a product that equals $1, that means you made 1 million people satisfied, right? And if you're making 1,000 products, you're satisfying 1,000 people. So money isn't evil. Money is a duty because it represents value that you're giving to other people. And so I'm starting to shift and realize, like, whoa, like, I've got to expand. I've got to expand into ultra abundance, which is exciting. So it comes down to the plan, and the deadline is crucial. The deadline. Okay, yeah, okay. I'm making this much money by August 1st, and then you've got 4 months to figure out, like, okay, well, how can I possibly do that? And so I've got a list of millionaires I need to contact, essentially, and create a plan that's exciting to them, and hopefully, you know, convince them that, you know, it's executable and worthy of investing in. So yeah, some exciting high-frequency times happening, and that's the vibe, you know, is to give other people the experience of the Supreme Person, the relationship with the Supreme Person, and the love that is in the spiritual world. So have a beautiful March day. Take care.